And then I turned beet red because you realize that, fraud and greed and all those things, they're everywhere. But you never think it's gonna happen to me, and it did. Howdy, I'm Ian Somerhalder. I'm gonna tell you about the best money I've ever spent and then the worst money I've ever spent. Let's start with my worst money. So I had only done a Versace campaign, a huge Versace campaign, but I was 16. I had literally $10,000 in my bank account, and I spent that $10,000. Fly to Paris to have dinner with a young lady who was also a model. And we had an amazing dinner, and I was sweating the whole time, trying to enjoy it. And then I had to fly back for work. Well, when I landed back at JFK in New York, I had no money. I had to get in a cab. A friend had to meet me at my apartment to pay for the taxi. And I thought that was the worst money I could have spent because I didn't even have food to eat or to pay rent or even for a taxi ride home from JFK. When I was shooting Vampire Diaries, I worked hard and I took the money that I was making from being a lead on a hit television show and I used it to invest in things that were really meaningful to me. And I invested heavily in a company that we had the most powerful LED light system in the world. We were heavily invested in the oil and gas industry, in the oil patch. So in oil field exploration, we were the company that was helping oil companies not use so much fuel to power all their nighttime operations and keep personnel safe. So it was noble too. Well, while I was busy on a television show, there was a tremendous amount of fraud going on with our biggest customer. I got a call from my lawyer and my business manager, and they said, so here's where you are, here's what happened. And then I heard the number, and I thought, it is a very good thing I'm sitting down because it's an 8-figure number. And then I turned beet red because you realize that, fraud and greed and all those things, they're everywhere. But you never think it's gonna happen to me, and it did. And man, I'll tell you, through hard work, persistence and innovation, and especially my wife coming in as a family and structuring this incredible, powerful way to build us out of this thing was the greatest, definitely most humbling and painful journey I've ever been on. But man, what I take from that, I've definitely had some unbelievable slices of humble pie, and man, it's sweet. It's the best dessert I've ever had. Now, let's talk about my best money. Without a doubt, Brothers Bond Bourbon has been the single greatest investment I've ever made. To me, this investment was about building a brand, a community, a family. I grew up very poor in the bayous of Southeast Louisiana, but we didn't know that. We were rich in food, we were rich in culture, we were rich in family. When you're building any brand, that brand identity and that uncompromising quality really pays off because people feel it, they love it, and it makes them feel part of something special. So that spreads throughout your team. They're not just peddling a product, they're selling something that's important. And I'm just overjoyed. Do I have a mantra when it comes to money? You've got to make sure you're passionate about what you're doing because it'll always come through. People always say, I have no purpose. What's my purpose? And what I've learned is, building on my foundation over the last 10 years, purpose is a really elusive thing, but yet it's all that we're striving for. All we want is purpose in life. That's all we're searching for. Find that purpose and go with it and build a community around it. And then nothing can stop you.